It was a picture-perfect morning in South Philadelphia when the rookies and undrafted hopefuls descended upon the NovaCare complex for the Eagles' rookie minicamp. Under a cloudless sky and with a gentle breeze rustling the practice fields, the energy was unmistakable. Young athletes eager to prove themselves, coaches poised to evaluate every rep, and fans buzzing with anticipation for the next wave of Eagles talent. From the moment the group filed in, it was clear that this minicamp would offer a revealing glimpse into the team's future depth chart and the hidden gems who could one day don midnight green. Among the most intriguing storylines was the performance of the sixth-round quarterback out of Syracuse. He arrived with a hometown advantage, just a short drive from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, and carried with him a resume marked by both promise and perseverance. A standout at St. Joe's Prep, and once a highly ranked four-star recruit, he had begun his college career at Ohio State before seeking a fresh start in upstate New York. Under the tutelage of a veteran quarterbacks coach, who had first extended him a significant scholarship offer when he was barely into high school, he flourished in his final collegiate season. At minicamp, he stood alone at quarterback, logging rep after rep while absorbing the speed and complexity of the Eagles' pro-style offense. His ability to anticipate defensive postures before the snap and deliver accurate throws on both vertical and lateral routes spoke to a deep football IQ. Though his gunslinger mentality occasionally led him to test throws into tight windows, it also underscored the competitive fire that scouts love. Less comfortable when asked to extend plays with his legs, he nonetheless displayed impressive pocket mobility, subtly sidestepping rushing defenders to buy time for his receivers. At 6'3" and 218 pounds, his frame seemed perfectly suited for the professional game, and his leadership qualities, evident in the way he directed huddles and encouraged teammates, hinted at a natural command that could one day earn him a spot on the 53-man roster. Not far from the quarterback drills, wide receiver Darius Cooper turned heads with his blend of size, speed, and tenacity. Though overlooked in the draft, his tape from Tarleton State had shown a knack for making contested catches and burning defenders on both short and deep patterns. At minicamp, he confirmed those reports by consistently winning one-on-one battles at the line of scrimmage and hauling in passes with defenders draped all over him. Clocking a 40-yard dash in 4.49 seconds at 213 pounds, he demonstrated a rare combination of power and burst. His athletic testing, 18 reps of 225 pounds on the bench, a 38-inch vertical, and a 10'6" broad jump, matched or exceeded those of an established pro like A.J. Brown, save for a slight height differential. It was Cooper's savvy route running and ability to adjust on the fly that stood out most. He instinctively found soft spots in zone coverage and showed the hands of a veteran, securing the ball through contact. His performance suggested that, even if he begins his career on the practice squad, he could quickly emerge as a reliable slot option or a situational X receiver with the physical tools to thrive in Andy Reid's attack. Closer to the trenches, third-year center Drew Kendall made a strong case for himself as a versatile interior lineman. Though projected primarily as Cam Jurgens' backup at center, Kendall's bulk and technique hinted at guard potential as well. At Boston College, he had started over 30 games snapping the ball, and it showed in the crispness of his shotgun exchanges and his feel for defensive alignments. He demonstrated a willingness to pull on zone runs, exhibited fine footwork in pass protection, and showed enough aggressiveness in run blocking to move linebackers at the second level. His frame, broad-shouldered with a low center of gravity, gave him an anchor point against bull rushers, yet he maintained the flexibility to mirror agile defenders. Stories circulated that he grew up idolizing a legendary Eagles center, studying film of his peak performances and absorbing the nuances of hand placement and leverage. With his father's 13-year NFL career as an offensive tackle and a brother who also starred in college, Kendall seemed to have football in his blood. During a light-hearted locker room exchange, a reporter asked if he could pull like that iconic center. Kendall's grin and, "Yeah, I'm working on it," reply endeared him to teammates and coaches alike, signaling both confidence and humility. The camp's running back competition also delivered compelling narratives. Undrafted free agents Shonderick Powell and Montreal Johnson embodied contrasting styles, but shared an unrelenting work ethic. Powell, at a compact 5'8" and 206 pounds, moved like a freight train through holes, piling up more than 1,000 rushing yards in each of his final 3 college seasons while routinely breaking tackles. His vertical burst and low center gravity cutbacks reminded onlookers of a veteran back who thrived in short yardage and goal line situations. Johnson, by contrast, brought a more traditional downhill style. After transferring twice, first from Florida to a smaller program, he overcame injuries to average over 5 yards per carry for 3 consecutive years and showed a reliable receiving presence out of the backfield. Both backs impressed in positional drills, one flashing quick-twitch wiggles to evade would-be tacklers, the other lowering his pads and powering through contact for tough yardage. Their contrasting strengths suggested that the Eagles might carry both on the active roster or at least keep one on the practice squad as injury insurance for their dynamic starters. Along the edges and in the trenches, 6th-round offensive tackle Isaiah Davis turned in a set of reps that validated the front office's decision to invest a pick in his potential. Standing a robust 6'5" with long arms and a thick base, he demonstrated solid hand placement in one-on-one pass rush drills and showed the agility to mirror quick defenders in mirror drills. His background, growing up in a family where his father and older brother both played on the offensive line, seemed to give him an innate sense of leverage and technique. Though coaches pointed out that he still needed to tighten his punch and finish block engagements with more pop, Davis's confidence in the film room and his media interactions suggested a player with both the mental and physical tools to develop into a reliable swing tackle capable of playing both guard and tackle spots. On the defensive side, a rangy linebacker out of a mid-major school caught eyes with his length and instincts. Though slightly lean by pro standards, his wingspan and lateral quickness gave him range sideline to sideline. In team drills, he flashed the ability to diagnose run fits quickly, scrape to the alley, and lay a solid hit, while in coverage drills he exhibited the ball skills and instincts to stick with backs and tight ends on crossing routes. Teammates noted his leadership qualities, recalling how he mentored younger college teammates as soon as he arrived on campus. And his grateful acknowledgement of feedback from veteran Eagles defenders spoke to his coachability. Even some of the less heralded prospects generated buzz. A smallish slot corner with sub-4.4 speed nevertheless showed the grit and technique to press receivers at the line, disrupt routes in man coverage, and use his compact frame to tackle effectively in the open field. A hulking defensive lineman, more typically seen crashing through scout team O-lines, earned praise for his ability to anchor against double teams and shoot the gap on stunts, reminding observers that sometimes the most valuable reserves are the ones who push the starters in practice. Throughout the day, veteran coaches circulated among every station, scribbling notes and offering pointers. Shorten your steps, keep shoulders square, stay lower on that block. The rookies absorbed it all, replaying corrections in their heads as they hustled back for the next period. In between drills, position meetings allowed groups to break down plays on tablets, simulating pre-snap reads and reinforcing terminology that will soon become second nature. The sheer volume of information and the pace of the NFL game can overwhelm rookies, but the enthusiastic atmosphere and camaraderie among the newcomers made it feel less like an audition and more like an initiation into a brotherhood. As the sun dipped toward late afternoon and the final team period wrapped up, coaches gathered prospects for a brief check-in. No formal announcements were made about roster spots. Nothing more than a great effort today, keep building on it, and reminders about the upcoming mandatory practices. But for many of these young men, the real evaluation was already underway. Did they absorb coaching? Did they compete on every snap? Did they show the heart and discipline to earn a chance at the next level? In the locker room afterward, the mood mixed relief with renewed determination. Some faces glowed with pride at the day's successes. Others reflected the knowledge of areas still needing improvement. Yet nearly every rookie exited with the same spark in their eyes, the unyielding belief that with hard work, attention to detail, and a willingness to learn, they could turn this taste of professional football into a long-term career. And for Eagles fans watching from home or roaming the campus behind practice fences, The promise of that next generation, teeming with hope, athleticism, and competitive fire, was enough to reignite excitement for a season still months away. With these glimpses of untapped potential, the journey toward another championship-contending roster had truly begun. The evaluation of the rookie minicamp would not be complete without addressing the newcomers who struggled to keep pace with the professional expectations. As the morning sun gave way to an overcast sky, certain players found themselves scrambling to adjust to the relentless speed of NFL drills and the precision of coaching feedback. Among them was a young safety taken in the second round, whose measurables suggested elite athleticism, but whose on-field instincts appeared rusty. In team sessions, he hesitated at open field angles, occasionally drawing late flags for holding or illegal contact. His coverage of crossing routes lacked fluidity, resulting in separation that veteran receivers exploited. It was clear that, despite his physical gifts, he must fine-tune his technique, specifically his footwork and leverage, to meet the standard of pro-level cornerback matchups. Coaches quietly noted that while he flashes ball-hawking ability in isolated drills, his consistency must improve before he could be trusted on third downs. Conversely, a third-round linebacker with a reputation for relentless motor seemed to underwhelm in run-fit simulations. In one memorable rep, he was beaten to a cutback lane by a veteran guard working scout team offense, missing a tackle that nearly resulted in a touchdown. His hips appeared slow to transition, and his tackling angles often left him overcommitting and unable to recover. Though he rallied later in the session, finishing with an impressive drill in pass coverage, blanketing a tight end on a drag route, his overall performance raised questions about whether he could translate college instincts to the pros. The consensus among evaluators was that he must sharpen his instincts against very defensive schemes and hone his lateral agility before the pads come on. Injuries also cast a shadow over the minicamp. The rookie wideout selected in the fourth round, known for crisp route running and strong hands, suffered a low-grade ankle sprain during a change of direction drill. His limp off the field was accompanied by grimaces of pain, and trainers immediately iced and wrapped the joint. Although initial optimism suggested he would be cleared for voluntary OTAs, his absence from key sessions left a void in the receiving corps. Observers lamented that without the live reps, he would miss critical development time, and the question lingered whether he could catch up once fully healed. Such setbacks are not uncommon, but when so much is riding on instant contribution for draft picks, missing even a single day under pads can be a significant blow. Another athlete who encountered hurdles was the fifth-round running back, whose collegiate tape bristled with highlight reel runs. In practice, however, his pass pro technique left something to be desired. When asked to chip block on blitz pickup drills, his footwork was heavy and his hand placement often too high, allowing simulated pass rushers to disengage and pressure the quarterback. His coaches stressed that proficiency as a blocker is non-negotiable for a backup back, especially on third and short or in two-back sets. Without marked improvement, he risked being overlooked in favor of undrafted free agents who excelled in special teams and blocking assignments. Indeed, the battle for special teams roles became a recurring theme throughout the camp. A punter taken in the seventh round, lauded for booming kickoffs, struggled with directional punts. In competition scenarios, simulating pinning opponents inside the 20-yard line, his attempts sailed into the end zone for touchbacks more often than not. Meanwhile, the undrafted free agent kicker, given only a camp invitation, garnered praise for his poise and consistency, splitting upright goalposts from 50 yards under simulated crowd noise. Such an upset could easily tip the undrafted player onto the 53-man roster, relegating the drafted punter to the practice squad or reserve list. The rain that fell during late-afternoon special teams drills tested the mettle of several return specialists. One rookie receiver, prized for his explosive kickoff returns at the combine, muffed a punt in slippery conditions, fumbling a ball that bounded perilously toward the sideline. Although he scooped it up without turnover, coaches admonished him for letting poor technique endanger possession. In contrast, another undrafted receiver showed deft hands and acceleration, scooping and galloping through a designed return that caught the eye of special teams coordinators. In a league where hidden yardage can swing close games, the ability to handle the ball cleanly and exploit a gap can secure a roster spot, and that play may have been the defining moment for his NFL prospects. Off the field, a handful of rookies struggled to navigate the complexity of NFL terminology and the lightning-fast decision-making required at the line of scrimmage. During tablet sessions, some freshmen found themselves flipping through digital playbooks in confusion, missing pre-snap keys and miscommunicating assignment calls. Coaches emphasized that mental errors could be as costly as physical mistakes, and a learning curve for new terminology. Adjustments, hot routes, front recognition proved steep for those unaccustomed to pro-level complexity. Watching players pore over tablets and chalkboards with furrowed brows underscored the reality that the NFL is as much an intellectual challenge as a physical one. By evening, when the final walkthrough concluded under stadium lights, the contrast between early excellence and growing pains was vivid. Several draft picks had cemented their reputations as quick learners and competitive spirits, flashing enough to carve out roster roles. Others, however, left the building with a sense of unfinished business, knowing they must elevate their craft in the weeks ahead. Trainers taped up ankles, position coaches circled individuals for extra work, and veterans offered unsolicited tips in the hallways. Keep your feet under you, anticipate the call, trust what you see on tape. Such peer mentorship can be invaluable for rookies finding their footing in a new environment. In the days following minicamp, the front office would pore over every snap from the practice fields, cross-referencing notes from position coaches, strength and conditioning staff, and scouting departments. Players suffering from minor injuries would undergo treatment plans, while those exhibiting deficits in skill or comprehension would receive targeted drills during OTAs. The evaluation process extends well beyond a single week, but impressions made at rookie minicamp often set the tone for future opportunities. A promising start can lead to invitations to veteran camps, while a slow debut may relegate a player to special teams-only roles or practice squad consideration. For the fans tuning in via social media highlights and local beat writer tweets, the narrative is already forming. Who will rise to challenge entrenched veterans? Who will quietly disappear into the bubble? And who will emerge as the next inspirational story of grit and determination? The rookies leave NovaCare with a mixture of relief and anticipation. They know that proving themselves in pads and public drills is only the first step. Next will come the 3-day mandatory minicamp, and then the full summer program, where the pace quickens and the stakes grow higher with each snap toward training camp. And so, the minicamp's conclusion did more than separate the early risers from the late bloomers. It offered a microcosm of the NFL's unforgiving nature. The gifted are lauded, the unprepared are exposed, and the battle for roster spots intensifies with every whistle. Yet for every player who left questioning his readiness, there remained the chance for redemption. The trenches would soon be filled with clashing pads. The playbooks would swell with audible calls, and the real evaluation, on the field under full pads, would begin. Until then, coaches, scouts, and fans alike would carry the lessons of that wet, windswept afternoon into the offseason, knowing that every rep, every correction, and every collision brings the Eagles one step closer to shaping the roster that will chase another Lombardi trophy. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has announced a severe penalty against the Philadelphia Eagles following a doping suspicion involving one of the team's key players. The revelation has sent shockwaves through the league as the NFL reinforces its commitment to maintaining the integrity of the sport and ensuring a level playing field. The league confirmed that an Eagles player is under investigation for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substances policy. While the player's identity has not yet been officially disclosed, sources close to the situation suggest that it is a high-impact athlete, which could have significant implications for the Eagles' upcoming season. Goodell, speaking at a press conference, was firm in his stance. "We take any violation of our drug policies seriously," he said. "The health of our players and the integrity of our game are non-negotiable. When there is a breach of that trust, the consequences will be severe." He further emphasized that the league will not hesitate to act swiftly and decisively when the rules are broken. As part of the immediate repercussions, the Eagles are expected to face heavy fines, potential loss of draft picks, and possible suspensions. The player in question has reportedly been removed from team activities pending the outcome of the investigation, which is being conducted jointly by the NFL and independent anti-doping authorities. The Philadelphia Eagles organization released a brief statement acknowledging the situation and pledging full cooperation with the league. "We are aware of the investigation and are taking this matter seriously. We will support the league's process and refrain from further comment until more information becomes available," the statement read. The timing of the incident is particularly challenging, as the Eagles are entering a crucial phase of off-season preparation. Losing a top player, even temporarily, could affect their training camp structure and season strategy. Fans have expressed concern and disappointment on social media, many hoping for a swift resolution and clarity. This incident adds to a growing list of doping-related cases in professional sports, raising questions once again about the pressures athletes face and the measures teams should take to educate and monitor their rosters. As the investigation continues, all eyes will be on Philadelphia and on how the NFL handles this critical test of its policies and enforcement. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.